The sun hung low on the horizon, casting a warm orange glow across the endless expanse of the sea. Mike and Emily, a young couple with adventurous spirits, found themselves in their small sailboat, far from the shore. The gentle lapping of waves against the boat's hull created a soothing rhythm as they enjoyed the tranquility of the open water. As the sun dipped lower, Mike and Emily exchanged smiles. They had been sailing for hours, leaving the worries of the world behind. The sea was their sanctuary, a place where they could escape the pressures of their busy lives. But beneath the surface tranquility, a tension simmered between them. Lately, their once solid relationship had been showing cracks. Unspoken words hung in the air, and a lingering sense of unease tainted their shared moments. The sky transformed into a canvas of deep purples and blues, and a chill crept into the air. Mike suggested they head back to shore, but Emily hesitated, her gaze fixed on the horizon. "We could stay out a little longer," she said softly, her voice carrying a hint of melancholy. Mike agreed, and they adjusted their course, sailing further into the open sea. The stars began to twinkle above, their reflections dancing on the water's surface. Hours passed, and the boat's cabin was bathed in the soft glow of lantern light. Emily wrapped herself in a blanket, her thoughts drifting like the waves outside. Mike studied her from across the cabin, concern etching lines on his face. "Emily," he began cautiously, "we need to talk." She looked up, her eyes meeting his with a mixture of apprehension and resignation. "I know," she whispered. Mike took a deep breath, his words measured. "We've been drifting apart, Em. I can feel it. I don't want us to lose what we have." Tears welled up in Emily's eyes, and she nodded, her vulnerability exposed. "I feel it too, Mike. But I don't know how to fix it." As they spoke, the boat rocked gently, the sea's rhythm a reminder of their isolation. They laid bare their fears and doubts, confessing their insecurities, and, in the rawness of their conversation, a fragile bridge formed between them. "I don't want to lose you," Mike said, his voice cracking. Emily reached out, her hand finding his, and they shared a tender moment, their fingers entwined. Just then, a low rumble reverberated through the boat. They exchanged puzzled glances before the sound came again, louder this time. Mike's brows furrowed as he realized it wasn't thunder. "What is that?" Emily's voice trembled. A shiver ran down Mike's spine. "I don't know. Let's check it out." They ventured onto the deck, scanning the horizon for the source of the noise. The sea seemed different now, its calm disrupted by a distant disturbance. And then they saw it, the glint of steel in the moonlight. A large ship was approaching, its silhouette growing more ominous with every passing second. As the ship drew closer, they could make out figures on the deck, men wearing dark clothing and masks. Panic surged through Mike and Emily as they realized they were in the path of an oncoming threat. "We need to get out of here," Mike said urgently, his heart racing. They hurriedly tried to steer the boat away, but it was too late. The ship closed in, and the masked men maneuvered their vessel alongside the sailboat, effectively trapping them. "Who are they?" Emily's voice trembled. Before Mike could answer, the masked men had boarded their boat. They were armed, their intentions clear. The couple was forced to their knees, their hands bound behind their backs. "Quiet and cooperative, and you won't get hurt," one of the men barked. Fear gripped them as they were led onto the larger ship. The moonlit sea bore witness to their abduction, the vastness of the ocean swallowing their cries for help. Hours turned to days as Mike and Emily remained captive, their uncertainty growing. They were confined to a small, dimly lit room, their captors offering no explanation for their abduction. But as the days wore on, Emily's determination remained unbroken. She whispered her plans to Mike during the rare moments they were alone. They would find a way to escape, to outsmart their captors and make their way back to the safety of the sea. Using a shard of glass from a broken bottle, they slowly worked to loosen their bindings. It was painstaking and painful, but the thought of freedom fueled their efforts. Finally, the moment came, their hands were free. They waited for their captors to open the door, their pulses racing. As the door creaked open, Mike and Emily lunged, overpowering the unsuspecting guard. They moved quickly, their desperation lending them strength. Scaling the ship's ladder, they emerged onto the deck, the salty breeze carrying a taste of hope. The moon was their guide as they navigated the ship's complex layout, avoiding patrols and obstacles. They knew their window of opportunity was slim, but their determination burned bright. After what felt like an eternity, they reached the ship's stern, where a small lifeboat was tethered. It was their ticket to freedom, a chance to escape the clutches of their captors and return to the safety of the sea they had once cherished. With trembling hands, they cut the lifeboat loose and lowered it into the water. The sea welcomed them, its embrace a balm to their wounded spirits. They rowed with all their might, the ship's distant lights fading behind them. Hours turned into a day, and eventually, they spotted the outline of land on the horizon. Exhausted and battered, they finally reached the safety of the shore. Weak but alive, they stumbled onto the sand, the sensation of solid ground beneath their feet a reminder of their resilience. Hand in hand, they looked out at the sea they had once sailed without a care in the world. The same sea that had witnessed their abduction and escape, that had tested their love and strength. As the sun began to rise, casting a golden hue over the water, Mike turned to Emily, his eyes filled with gratitude. "We've been given a second chance," he said softly. Emily nodded, her gaze fixed on the horizon. "Let's never forget what we've learned out there." And as they walked away from the sea, their fingers still intertwined, they carried with them the knowledge that even in the face of danger, love and determination could guide them through the darkest of waters. Please note that this story aims to create suspense and tension while focusing on themes of resilience and the strength of human connection. If you have any specific preferences or details you'd like to add, feel free to let me know.